These are two teams I don't know exactly who they are. Listen, I believe the Colts are a good team. I think their offense is really good. I think their O line is good. I think Jonathan Taylor is really good. I actually like their young receiving core, Pittman, Pierce, and company Downs. I love their tight end, obviously, Tyler Warren. You guys have been hearing me sing his praises ever since he's been at Penn State, and now that he's fully in the NFL. But Daniel Jones is coming off a five turnover game. A five turnover game. If anyone had this dude winning MVP before that game, he just lost the MVP during that game. And listen, I get the Steelers played a really great game. They put a lot of pressure on him, but the Colts have one of the best O lines in the NFL. And Daniel Jones looked like his old self behind that O line. And after this week, they traded for Sauce Gardner, right? So they upgraded on the defense. They have Ward, Travarius Ward on the IR. He's coming back. So it's going to be Gardner and Travavius Ward in that secondary. Um, they already have a high pay secondary and they add Sauce Gardner, giving up two first round picks. I think that's an overpay. As someone who's a Bills fan and has to watch Sauce Gardner twice a year, he's been underwhelming since his first and second year. I don't think he's worth two first round picks, but hey, take a chance, take a risk, Colts. And this is a huge indictment on how they feel about Daniel Jones as their quarterback in the future. So, how do I feel about this game? The Falcons should have won last week. That's all I really know. The Falcons should have won last week if it wasn't for an intentional grounding and a missed PAT by Parker Romo. Thankfully, they cut Parker Romo and they have a new kicker. I forget who the new kicker is, but their O line is banged up. Their starting guard is out. Lindstrom, their other guard, is questionable, and their two tackles are both on the IR. This Falcons team is banged up. They can barely run the ball anymore. Bijan, despite being one of the very best three running backs in the NFL, hasn't had a good rushing game since the Bills, it feels like. The Colts are coming off a loss to the Steelers. This is a big game for them. If they lose this game, the one seed seems a little less possible. So give me the Colts in a bounce back game in Berlin. I actually think this Falcons team is dying. I think they're on the verge of quitting, and I think Jonathan Taylor, having a bad week last week, having an off week last week, will have a great week this week. I'm talking about 130 yards plus. With the run game, that opens up the passing game. I think Daniel Jones has two touchdowns passing or more, and I think Jonathan Taylor gets 130 plus on the ground and a rushing touchdown. So I think the Colts bounce back. I think Sauce Gardner, I'm curious to see how he looks in this Colts defense, in this greatly coached Colts defense and this Colts team. I'm curious if his play gets better under this different franchise who's clearly going in the right direction, especially when you compare it to his last franchise in the New York Jets, who seemingly is always going backwards, despite making some really good moves this week. I will be honest. The Quentin Williams deal and the Sauce Gardner deal for the Jets might be the two best decisions the Jets have made in the past decade or so. So the Colts bounce back and the Falcons continue to go down a hill